Golden Bachelorette Charles Ling gives huge life update, September 19th, 2025. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Bachelor Nation News. Fans, Charles Ling was a fan favorite on the first season of The Golden Bachelorette. Viewers found him endearing and authentic in his quest for love. But it was also clear to viewers that he wasn't over his late wife. His wife passed away suddenly several years earlier due to a brain aneurysm. He brought viewers to tears when he spoke about missing his wife and feeling guilty about her death. The audience at the Men Tell All chanted for Charles Ling to be the next Golden Bachelor. But the network chose former NFL player Mel Owens in the role. Season 2 of the spinoff premieres on September 24. After a long absence, Charles Ling returned to social media this week with a huge life update. Keep reading to find out what he's been up to. Charles Ling reveals why he wasn't on Bachelor in Paradise. Bachelor Nation fans were shocked that Charles Ling wasn't among the Golden Stars on Season 10 of Bachelor in Paradise. The season aired this summer and featured Charles King, Leslie Fima, Keith Gordon, and a few other seniors. Charles Ling revealed on the Almost Famous podcast in May why he decided not to go to Paradise. He told the hosts that it was a decision he made with his daughter's input. The Golden Bachelorette alum didn't say much more than that. He did, however, say he would be open to appearing on another Bachelor Nation program in the future. Golden Bachelorette fan favorite gives huge life update. Reality TV fans were rooting for Charles Ling to find love with Joan Vassos, but that didn't happen. He was sent home in week 4 and she went on to get engaged to Joan Vassos. She recently addressed the rumors that she secretly married her fiancé, Chalk Chapel. Charles Ling has led a quiet life off social media since The Golden Bachelorette. His last Instagram post was in late 2024 when he posted a video from New York's iconic Grand Central Terminal with Bachelor Nation star Jeremy Simon. But it seems fans have been bugging Charles Ling for an update about what his life is like now. He returned to Instagram with a huge life update. Time flies. Today is the anniversary of our TV show. Many of you have been wondering what I have been doing these days, so I'd like to update you with these photos to give you a glimpse of my activities this past year. He wrote in the post's caption. He included a few photos of his travels. He added, "While my routine has been similar to the past, I am very good at pickleball now." The Golden Bachelorette fan favorite shared his gratitude to his many fans. He wrote, "I am honored to be loved by thousands of you, and many of you have sent warm-hearted messages to me. I met so many fans at the airport, train stations, and different stores and restaurants." He ended the short update by sending his best wishes to everyone. Charles Ling didn't mention his relationship status, so he's likely still single and in mourning over his late
name
wife.
has become almost legendary among fans of the Golden Bachelorette. His journey was unlike any other. At 66, the retired high school principal from California walked into the mansion not for fame, but for one last chance at love. By the end of the season, Charles had not only captured the heart of the leading lady, but also captured the imagination of millions who tuned in weekly to see whether second chances at love could really come true. Now, months after the cameras stopped rolling, Charles Ling has broken his silence and shared a huge life update, and it's one that has shocked fans, touched hearts, and even sparked new conversations about what love, loss, and living fully mean later in life. This is the full story. The beginning, a man who never wanted the spotlight. Charles never expected to find himself on national television. A widower of 8 years, he had spent most of his time caring for his grandkids, volunteering at the local library, and enjoying quiet weekends fishing with his brother. His daughter, Mia, was the one who secretly nominated him for the Golden Bachelorette. "She thought I was lonely," Charles admitted in an exclusive sit-down interview. "She told me, 'Dad, you've given so much to everyone else. Maybe it's time to give yourself a chance.' Honestly, I laughed. But then I thought, why not? Life's too short to keep saying no." When he walked onto that glittering set for the first time, he wasn't thinking about television ratings, producers, or fame. He was thinking about whether he could actually open his heart again after years of grief. The season that changed everything. Unlike some contestants who arrive with rehearsed charm and practiced speeches, Charles was quiet, thoughtful, and deeply authentic. He wasn't the loudest man in the room, but he was the one who listened. Each week, America watched him connect with not only the Golden Bachelorette herself, but also with the other men. Fans nicknamed him the heart of the house. One iconic moment came during week 4, when Charles opened up about his late wife during a group date. Sitting in a circle, holding a framed photo of his wedding day, his voice cracked as he said, "I never thought I'd fall in love again. But being here, I realize my story isn't over." That line trended across social media for days. For many viewers, especially those over 60 who had faced similar losses, Charles became a symbol of resilience and hope. The finale everyone talked about. By the time the finale rolled around, Charles had emerged as a frontrunner. His connection with the Golden Bachelorette, Margaret, was undeniable. In the final rose ceremony, under a canopy of twinkling lights, Margaret confessed, "Charles, when I look at you, I don't see just the past we've both lived through. I see the future we still have left." The nation swooned. Charles accepted her rose, and the two walked off hand in hand, promising that love at any age was worth celebrating. But life after the finale didn't go exactly as expected. The huge life update, a twist nobody saw coming. Fast forward to today, Charles has given a massive life update, and it's one that fans didn't see coming. Margaret and Charles quietly decided to part ways just 3 months after filming wrapped. "It wasn't a fight, it wasn't betrayal, it was simply life," Charles explained with a steady calmness. "Margaret lives on the East Coast, and her whole world is there. Her children, her grandchildren, her community. My world is here on the West Coast. We tried long distance, but at our age, it's harder. We realized we didn't want to spend the years we have left on planes or phone calls. We wanted peace." The breakup was mutual and respectful. Both have spoken publicly about their continued admiration for each other. Margaret even sent Charles a handwritten letter thanking him for reminding me that love is never too late. But that's not the end of Charles's story. A new chapter begins. After the split, Charles admitted he felt an emptiness, not because of the breakup itself, but because the whirlwind of television had left him craving more. "For the first time in years, I felt alive again," he said. "I realized I didn't want to just go back to fishing on weekends. I wanted to keep living boldly." That's when Charles made a decision that shocked his family and now the world. Charles announced he's moving abroad. Yes, at 66 years old, the Golden Bachelorette fan favorite has sold his house, packed up his belongings, and will be relocating to Portugal for the next chapter of his life. Why Portugal? Why would Charles leave behind his comfortable life in California? His answer was both surprising and deeply inspiring. "I spent my whole career telling my students to go out into the world, to be brave, to learn new things. Then I retired and realized I hadn't taken my own advice. Portugal called to me. The culture, the community, the ocean, it just felt right." He also revealed another reason: a budding romance. Yes, Charles Ling has a new companion. The unexpected romance. While Charles hasn't revealed her name yet, out of respect for privacy, he confirmed he met someone shortly after his season aired. She isn't from the franchise, nor is she connected to Hollywood. She's a retired art teacher he met while traveling with friends. "She's kind, she's funny, and she challenges me," he said with a smile. "For the first time in a long time, I feel like a teenager again." It's unexpected, but isn't that the beauty of life? Fans erupted in joy on social media, celebrating the fact that Charles had found love outside of reality TV, inspiring others along the way. Beyond romance, Charles has also taken on a new role: motivational speaker. After his story went viral, senior centers, community groups, and even universities began inviting him to share his journey. His talks focus on reinvention after loss and finding purpose later in life. One viral clip shows him standing on stage saying, "You're not too old to love. You're not too old to dream. You're not too old to start over. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." The crowd erupted in applause. A message that resonates. Charles's life update has become more than gossip or reality TV news. It's become a movement. Online communities of widows, widowers, and retirees have rallied around his story, sharing their own journeys of second chances. In fact, one Facebook group titled Golden Hearts, inspired by Charles Ling, has already reached 50,000 members. Every day, people post photos of dates, adventures, and personal milestones, tagging Charles as their source of inspiration. The legacy of a golden man. What makes Charles's story so powerful is that it isn't about fame, roses, or even the cameras. It's about a man who dared to start over when many would have given up. As he prepares to move to Portugal, start a new romance, and continue inspiring others, Charles says he hopes his journey shows one simple truth. Life doesn't end when you lose someone, or when you retire, or when you turn 60. If anything, life begins again. Every day you wake up is a chance to write a new story. I'm just grateful I'm still here to write mine. Conclusion. A huge update. A bigger message. So there it is, the huge update from Golden Bachelorette Charles Ling. From heartbreak to healing, from reality TV to real love, from California to Portugal. His story is proof that second chances aren't just possible, they're worth fighting for. For fans, his next chapter isn't just about watching what happens. It's about asking themselves the same question Charles asked when he agreed to go on the show. What if the best part of your life hasn't happened yet? And maybe, just maybe, that's the update we all needed.
6 in the morning when Charles Ling stepped onto his back porch, a steaming cup of black coffee warming his hands. The California sky was still painted with streaks of lavender and gold, the kind of morning that made him pause and breathe deeply. He always said sunrises reminded him of his late wife, Evelyn. She used to wake him up early just to catch the light. "I can still hear her," Charles murmured, his voice soft, almost swallowed by the breeze. "Come on, Charlie, don't miss the good part." 8 years had passed since Evelyn's death. He had learned to live with the silence, but he had never truly filled it. That emptiness is what his daughter Mia saw, and why she had secretly nominated him for the Golden Bachelorette. "I thought she was crazy," he laughed. "Me, on television, competing for love at 66? But Mia told me, 'Dad, the world needs to see you smile again.' And I guess she was right." Cameras, confessions, and a nation watching. When Charles arrived at the mansion, surrounded by bright lights and producers with clipboards, he almost turned around. But then he met Margaret, the Golden Bachelorette, a widow herself with a quiet strength in her eyes. She was graceful, Charles recalled, not just beautiful but grounded. I thought, here's someone who understands loss, who understands what it's like to wake up and reach for someone who isn't there anymore. His season became one of the most emotional in franchise history. There weren't petty feuds or shouting matches, at least not from Charles. Instead, he became the calm center. Contestants gravitated toward him, often seeking advice. One memorable night, a fellow contestant broke down saying he missed his late wife. Charles placed a hand on his shoulder and said, "Brother, grief doesn't leave us, but neither does love. We carry both. That's how we honor the people we lost, by letting ourselves keep living." Fans on Twitter called it the most profound line ever spoken on the show. The final rose. By the finale, Charles had emerged as America's sweetheart. Under fairy lights and a backdrop of roses, Margaret handed him her final rose. "Charles," she whispered, "I don't just see our pasts, I see our future." They kissed and fireworks exploded. Millions cried happy tears in their living rooms. Social media declared, love is real, even after loss, even after 60. But fairy tales don't always last forever. Life after the cameras. Charles and Margaret tried, they really did. He flew to New York, she visited California. They spent hours on video calls, laughing, planning trips, talking about family. But the miles felt heavier with each week. Margaret's grandkids needed her. Charles's roots were in California. At their age, neither wanted to uproot their lives entirely. Long distance isn't the same at 66 as it is at 26, Charles explained gently. We weren't angry, we weren't bitter, we just knew we deserved peace, not complications. 3 months after filming ended, they quietly decided to part ways.
It was sad, Charles admitted, but also freeing. We gave each other hope, and that was a gift neither of us expected. A shocking new decision. But Charles didn't retreat into solitude, quite the opposite. He started traveling. First short trips, Seattle, Chicago, Miami, then Europe, Paris, Barcelona, Lisbon. Every city seemed to shake something loose in him to remind him there was a world outside the walls of grief. It was in Lisbon that the decision struck him. I want to live here, he told Mia on a late-night phone call. I can breathe here. I can see myself starting over. Mia was stunned. Dad, you'd really move across the world? Yes, Charles said firmly. I told my students for decades to take risks, to see the world. Now it's my turn. Within months, he sold his California home, pared down his belongings, and announced publicly that he was relocating to Portugal. The romance nobody predicted. Then came the twist that sent Bachelor Nation into a frenzy. Charles wasn't moving alone. During a painting workshop in Porto, he met Elena, a retired art teacher with a laugh that, as Charles described, made the whole room warmer. We started talking about colors, brushes, and somehow ended up talking about life, Charles shared with a grin. By the end of that day, I knew I wanted to see her again. Fans who spotted them walking hand in hand in Lisbon posted photos online. The internet exploded with joy. Our golden king has found his queen, one fan tweeted, earning 30,000 likes overnight. Fans react. Reactions to Charles's huge life update have been overwhelming. One fan wrote, Charles taught me that it's okay to dream after 60. I signed up for a salsa class because of him. Another said, I lost my husband 5 years ago. Watching Charles fall in love again gave me permission to hope again. Thank you, Charles. Facebook groups like Golden Hearts, inspired by Charles Ling, have grown into thriving communities of older adults sharing their own stories of love, reinvention, and second chances. His new purpose. Charles didn't just move to Portugal for love, he also found a new calling, speaking and writing. He now gives talks at community centers and universities about embracing change at any age. His upcoming memoir, The Second Sunrise, chronicles his journey from widower to reality TV star to world traveler. I want people to know, he said at a Lisbon bookstore reading, that your story doesn't end when tragedy strikes. It bends, it changes shape, but as long as you're alive, the pages keep turning. The audience gave him a standing ovation. First days in Portugal. Settling into his new apartment near the Tagus River, Charles has embraced the slower pace of life. He shops at local markets, practices Portuguese with neighbors, and enjoys wine at small cafes with Elena. One evening, as the sun set over the water, Elena asked him, Do you ever miss California? Charles smiled. I miss my family, but I don't miss the feeling of waiting for life to happen. Here, I wake up every day knowing it already is. The bigger message. Charles Ling's huge life update isn't just about a move or a romance. It's about a mindset shift that's rippling across generations. You're never too old to start over, he tells anyone who asks. The best chapters might not be the first ones, but the ones you dare to write when you think the book is almost finished. Conclusion. The Golden Bachelorette's most beloved gentleman. From the quiet widower and his back porch in California to the bold traveler starting fresh in Portugal, Charles Ling has become more than a Bachelor Nation icon. He's become a symbol of resilience, reinvention, and hope. As he puts it, I thought my story was ending. Turns out, it was just beginning again. And with that, the Golden Bachelorette's most beloved gentleman walks forward, not into a rose ceremony, but into the wide-open possibilities of the rest of his life.